computer, lights. Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Let's get the microphone in the right spot and get everything organized. It's a Monday. Isn't that great? Sometimes I think, gosh, Mondays are cool. And then sometimes I think Fridays are cool. And I think this week I'm going for Monday is cool. This is the last week of April. I already run through April. Imagine that. Isn't that amazing? That's kind of cool. Okay, so today we are going to, I'm just doing maintenance here, take my existing stylus and I'm going to plug in the new stylus so that we're ready to go for today. Do some maintenance on the system here. So we take our little cloth and we go back and forth and back, forth and back and forth, like so, till we clear the screen. That's kind of a thing every weekend because I'll spend the weekend with my family, and so I don't usually do work during the weekend. So here we all are, just trying to kind of clear it up. There we go. All right. We're going to work on springs today. But of course, as usual, we're going to go over and warm up over at the other desk. So let's head on over to the other desk. All right, at the desk over here, I am going to grab myself a piece of paper, which appears to be easier said than done. I think somebody we know, and I won't name any names, has been coming in here getting paper off of his dad's desk. That thing's been going on. So we'll head over here to the fresh paper section and get ourselves a new sheet of paper. Shouldn't be anything to do with you. All right. Whoop. There we go. Now, as we do every morning, we take a normal piece of paper, just like this guy right here. It can be anything. I kind of use sort of a scrap paper for this. You can kind of see that it's got kind of errors and things like that. It's great. Then we're going to take just a normal ruler, a pencil, not this guy. This guy is a pen, and just what we call a French curve. Now, I found my Staedtler protractor as well. You can use this if you wish. You can use anything you want. You can use this roll of tape. Anything's fine. But these are the tools you'll need for warming up. Okay, let's go ahead and start. We'll take just a normal ruler, and you can use any ruler you want. It doesn't have to be this. I use my dad's old scale because he used to do engineering, and He had a scale, and I love using his scale because it makes me feel like I'm still putting use to my dad's old equipment, right? We're going to draw ourselves two lines like this, and then two very long lines like this. Okay, then right under here, we're going to take this to here. We're going to make dots like this, and one like this, like that. And then we're going to take our French curve. I'm just going to draw a couple of these. It doesn't matter. The key here is this is practice. We're practicing. So it's not important at all that you do these perfect. I'm going to take this guy right here. This is a 0.4 fine liner. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we don't put our elbows on the table. We're going to lift our elbow up. We're going to lift our wrist up. And we're going to draw the line. And this is without our elbows or our wrists on the table. I'm going to go 2 forward and 2 back. Two forward and 2 back. Now for these here, we're practicing looking at where we're going. So you're going to put your pen here and you're going to look here. You're going to draw to that line. Okay, that's okay. That doesn't work. Same thing here. Start here, look there. We're not anywhere near. That's okay. This is practice. This is warm up, right? And do the same thing with these long lines here. We're going to do the same thing. 1, 2. Right? And now I'm going to go around these curves. Like so. And then we're going to put the date on here. And the date is April 26th. Right? Remember to put the caps back on your pens, and we will turn this around for tomorrow. It'll be ready for tomorrow. Okay. Now that we've done that, we'll move back over here. So we're going to do Springs today. We're going to do a Springs comic, and I have to think of a joke. So we have to think of something funny, something entertaining to talk about. We'll find out when we get there. I am truly doing this by the seat of my pants because I can't. I was thinking about trying to come up with good jokes, and I even went over and looked at some of the Peanuts books that I've got behind me. I have the full collection of Calvin and Hobbes back there. And those two are my favorites, and I love doing those. But what could be, I think would be good, would be maybe to do a traffic joke, something involving traffic, which would involve Don Q either heading off or going somewhere. So that would be a funny joke. So let's think about Don Q and some traffic tropes. So we could do now kind of going in here and just looking around. I'm gonna put my pen over to sketch mode over here, so we can sketch in. I already set up a blue line layer, and when we say blue line, what we're talking about is we're writing in this non-photo blue. right? See, that's kind of this blue that's not photo. And we use the non-photo blue. There we go. That's more like it. We use that non-photo blue to kind of give us a underdrawing. Excuse me, it's early in the morning. Okay. So we're going to kind of do something here. Let's think of something funny. It would be a good thing to you could have something where they're curing the pandemic. Make a joke about pandemic, like a panda named Mick. No, that's kind of weak. I don't know. Kind of thinking on these things here. I used to have a random comic strip generator, which was funny. Let's see if I can find it. Because there once was. Let's see what we got going on here. Some of these are really not right. Okay. Maybe we could just get a good starter. Right? Get a couple. We just need to get kind of. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a. Comic strip starter. See, they've even got these kind of things. Some of these are not really. I don't know if this is the right thing. I think they're kind of going the wrong direction on that. But that's okay. So we'll take some just random ideas here. No, these are actual strips. I don't want to steal anybody's actual strips. Right? You don't want to do that. You know what we could do? We haven't done anything with Mike and her insomnia. Yeah. Excuse me. We are definitely heading into spring. Okay. I didn't really need to use the starters over there. We just... Now, Mike, generally speaking, has bad insomnia. She always has. Right? So... Right, she's in bed. She's trying to sleep. Got the clock here. It says, 4. Hang on, guys. The trees are getting to me. It's the trees. The trees. All right. We're back. Okay. So she usually has sort of insomnia or something to that effect. It always seems to zot her in the middle of the night. naturally. And then we could, she's asleep. Zzz, zzz, zzz. And then we have, ping. Her eyes pop open. Right? So, boing, boing. Right? Eyes pop open. And then we have something about I could try to sleep, but I feel like she's got a plague of sheep. She always has. Right? I mean, what we've got really here is nope. Let's do it this way. in general, Mike is always sort of me in some alternate universe. She's like a 25-year-old me with all the same kind of problems that I had when I was 25, but she's kind of now. She's kind of evolving with me here. Right. So I think what we're going to do here, we're going to go for let's change this to probably bring me back to there. There we go. Uh, kind of going in here. Yes, we could probably do this. Yeah. There we go. We'll come back over here for my blue line. And we'll go back to my G pen. No, I don't want it looking straight at us. There we go. We'll just set this up so it's some kind of. She always has this big picture window right outside her bed. Mostly so you can see what time it is and see that it's dark and that she's supposed to be asleep. I mean, it's not complicated, really. Maybe I'll just leave this as insomnia. Right? Because, I mean, it's like her insomnia sheep. She always has to deal with her insomnia sheep. Ragrats. Right? Okay, this is a 4-paneler. So we're going to go on ahead and get into the 4th panel on this one. I'm going to switch to black so that we can be ready to go. I'm going to go on ahead and grab my pen, my correct pen, my G pen here. We're going to push it up to 18, which is usually what we need for the pen check here. You can see that's pretty good. So we'll move in on to panel 1 right here. I'm going to go ahead and just start drawing in this background. Right? Kind of in bed here. She's sleeping peacefully. And it's 4 a.m. right here. And we'll go ahead and give a little bit of depth to this window. There we go. Everybody in the Springs world has a whip antenna. It's a thing. Right. Big moon just to indicate that it's nighttime. And we will even double down on this by doing that, which will allow us to do dots. There we go. She's asleep. It's nighttime. Right? There we go. What we're going to do next, here, we'll just finish off the bed. That way we can come back through here, and there will obviously be some kind of backgrounding going on here. Right, get her face straight. There. Poink. I always like that sound effect, that boink sound effect. It's like, well, there you go. Look right up in you. Boink. There we go. Put the little clock in to indicate that we are at the same time, 4 o'clock, and we'll put the window in. Let's look at the window over here to see where it goes. It goes right here. So we'll continue to put sort of the window in, but what we really want to do is indicate that she is thinking these complex thoughts in the middle of the night, because she has horrible insomnia, and these are cloudy, sheepy people who do this to her. And they've got their paperwork they're working on here. Taxes? Have you done your taxes? He's got glasses on. All right. I feel like today we're going to run a short show. Okay. Move. That's third grade regrets. Now, part of this is that I've been kind of suffering from insomnia recently. So I when I do, I tend to bring out Mike because she suffers often from insomnia and insecurity and all the things. Kind of want to make sure I've got her head leaning forward because she's leaning forward in her bed here. Now I'm intentionally not putting her shoulder pads on. I feel like that's part of her clothes. I don't know. I mean, they're robots. They don't have clothes, but I feel like she has shoulder pads she snaps on when she is save. I feel like we've already gotten kind of to the inking stage here. Shake out our hands a little. So kind of moving along here. We're moving along at a pretty good clip, so not that worried. The only thing is, now looking at it with just the artwork, I feel like this face is a little strange. So I'm going to go back and just work with it a little. I'm going to lasso just her eyes. Right. Like there. That's much better. Her head's turned, but we didn't want it turned too much. That's just weird. Okay, here we go for color. Duplicate the layer. Take the bottom layer part. We're just going to select parts of this, and we know now kind of what her color codes are, right? So her arms, her head, all of these things are pink, right? Or in this case, pink, right? And this is purple. Makes it easy. Her ponytail is pretty much the same color as TV. Oops, undo. There you go. The key thing here is we want to make sure we're white in here. I like white sheep. They crack me up. There you go. And we want to make sure that the text bubbles are white. I think her whip antennas have always been a gray. There we go. Now we'll go back in and we'll pick some colors for her blanket to be. I think her blanket should be dark purple with a light lavender on the outside, right? Like that, like a plum. Right? I think that'd be like the same color as her bed. Except that ends up being exactly the same as her lower torso. So let's take that plum out. These two belong to her, so we're going to probably stay away from those. This belongs to Io, so let's not do that. Let's see if we can come up with a green. All right, it's a magical bed. There we go. We'll actually make the floor green as well. All right, we'll make a room a dark blue. She's asleep, right? Everything's dark blue in back here. I'm going to even kind of make the background back here dark blue too, just to make it kind of like it's a night scene. You know, we're really dark here. And then she wakes up. And we don't want to use too many bright colors over here because we've pretty much got, you know what's going on here. But we can take a gray and put it back there, right? I feel kind of like I've had days like this, right? I'm just like, ugh. Right? There we go. There's our base colors for the strip. All right. All right. Last thing we want to make sure is we get all of these things that are kind of outside of the realms. Make should we like get these guys right here? Because if we don't, work, let's not do that. Did that just color everything gray? I think it did. I don't think I care. There we go. We'll need to figure out what the face of the clock is as well. And it should be okay, yellow. Nah, make it orange. Something that makes you go, oh, I'm kidding. There's the clock. Anyway, now that we've done that, we'll go for a new raster layer. And on this layer, I'm going to hit only 33% work and multiply. And here's our shadow layers. Right? So let's go into the shadows. She's sleeping. So we'll do this. So, do. Here we go. There we go. Now what we'll do is do this. And go back around. And then we can just fill that in because that's, looks good. That kind of looked kind of cool with a little bit of the bed open like that, right? That kind of looked neat. I'm going to keep that like that. Here we go. She's asleep, right? She's asleep in her little bed. It's all good. And we will take and do the same kind of thing up here. We'll just give a little bit of a shadow to the room here. And that way, it gives it some depth, right? Just kind of giving some interesting shadows to kind of work with here. It's nighttime. We don't want it to look too bright, right? There. Beautiful. She's just sleeping in her little bed, happy as a clam. All right. There we go. Oops. Not filled in completely. I'll come back around and do that number like that. There. Now I've established this room back here, so I don't have to go back and clean and redo all of this behind her, because I don't want to clutter this up too much. I want people to come up here and look and see what's happening. So we do need to go back here though and do this point, right? Make sure we have that. Let me go up here. Make sure we've got kind of things going on like this. I'm just giving the bottom here can be more, I don't know if you want to call it detailed, but detailed. Right? All right, let's go ahead and there we go. There we go. Very great regrets. I'm going to be careful going up the front here. Makes her look just a little too weird. I don't know. Some people already kind of feel like Mike looks weird anyway. I like her. I've always liked Mike. One of my favorite characters here. I think it's interesting and funny that 20 years before Star Trek did it, I decided to have a female character named Mike. Was that me thinking ahead? Yes, probably it was. I have special Galron powers. Invoking my right to be Charich. All right. Now we've got this. We're going to save. Now I'll also put in highlights. Right, so we'll do the same thing. We'll add a layer. And this one stays at 100%, but it's an overlay, right? We go to white. We just kind of put in just a little bit of highlight on the top here. And her hair. Right here. Makes it look a little bit more like she's just a little shiny. All the droids are shiny naturally. And we're just kind of putting in highlight here. It gives depth. All right, we're just quickly doing this.
It's time to take a quick break.
All right, we are almost at the end of this comic drawing session. So I'm not going to actually take my break. Usually I do, but I feel like we'll be done here in just a minute. So let's just finish up what needs to be finished up. Make sure all is good. All right, I'm going to go in here a little. Let's do this. No, I don't like that at all. But I can put that there and like that there. Maybe a little bit right here is not going to hurt us. All right, just like this. There. Now one last thing. I'm not happy with what's going on up here. So I'm going to take my darken side on this, where I've got the dark going, and I'm going to come back through. I'm going to kind of just catch some of the underside of my sheep here. In there. Right, we'll give them a little bit of depth. Right, we'll come back in here and we'll just paint the table a little. There. There we go. All right, now I feel like that's a much better strip. We're doing much better. Much better. People are texting me all day. Or I just feel like that. So, okay. Kind of going through here. So I'm just cleaning it up, making it look good. There we go. All right. As we often do, we're going to save, right? Once it's saved, boop, 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 we're going to resize. We're going to resize, if I can remember which one I want to do for resize. Change canvas size is what we want. Right? To there. Make it okay. And I always say to people that you want to save a version of this where it is in a higher resolution. And you always should do that. As an artist, we should always do that. And the reason we do that is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit Control-Shift-E. Right? And what that has done is that's made one layer like that. And I can kill everything else. Right? And that's what we're going to do. Now all we have is just that. Okay? Always save a version of it that's much, much, much larger. And that way, if ever there was a it's going to be 80. Whoa, it's going to be huge, apparently. And it's not 12. It is 1280. Okay. If anybody ever claims that this is their art, then you can always show a larger version. Okay. So now we're going to save this guy as. And we always save them as PNGs because in that way they keep their transparency, right? And that's the way that works. Pork. And there we go, guys. In 1 hour, pretty much straight up, came up with an idea for the Springs comic, wrote the Springs comic, drew it up, colored it, rolled it out the door. So there you go. We're going to we're going to go ahead and load this into the system. And then that way we can have it already out the door by the time you all see this, and we will create a post even as we speak. One of the things that I also keep with me, by the way, perpetually, is a list of hashtags which go with this. And I just keep it as a text file. And then that way I can just copy it. Today's Springs comic. Right? And we will add the photo. And we will go to the folder, Springs, and we will snag this one. And it's doing it again. It needs literally 1 pixel trimmed off of it. I can't believe that. Okay, we will trim 1 pixel off of it because it needs to be 1280 by 670, but it's 1280 by 670. So what I will do is make this 79. Make that 1. Okay, I don't know why it has an issue with this. I don't know what its problem is, but I will redo it. And then I will dump that, add a photo. And I'll do this. Because it won't let me publish as long as it's, and I don't know what that means. It's 4 to 5 aspect ratio is, let me see what they've got. Only, so what do you want me to be? 1080 by 608. Well, let's fix that then. Let's do that. Let's make this 1080 by 608. $1080 Well, I'm having a problem with this because it's not in that aspect ratio. So I'll have to change the image or the canvas size. It's 608. I mean, not like that makes much of a difference, but okay. There we go. So we'll delete it and we'll add photo again. And this time it'll be 1080 by 608 as it asked. Okay. Often struggled with insomnia. Poor Mike. Okay. When we use the springs, I have a series of hashtags for springs. And there's 30 hashtags that I use for that. So we'll copy that over. And we'll click on the Instagram thing and we will put in the 30 hashtags that go for springs. And then we'll go to Facebook and we say E.S. Davis art. And then we say hashtag springs comic. And that's what we get. And now we publish it. The thing I really like about Facebook's new business tools is that it does connect Instagram and Facebook together so I can post to Instagram. It makes it nice. So, okay. It's out the door. And that is going to be all I'm going to do for today. I'm going to actually take an early break. And that way, I can go fetch my child who needs to have a doctor's appointment today. So there's that. So we will see you tomorrow. And we will be working on Airship 27 and the cover again. We're going to keep working on that cover. So until then, I hope you have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. And I hope you can keep your eyes on the stars. Bye. Computer, good night.